to the Nikki and Ryan experiment. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Ryan.
We have an awesome guest today, Patty the Panda. What's up, Patty?
Hello, how are you? Buenos dias, ¿cómo está bien? How are we all doing today? I'm here to add some personality to this show because a couple of days ago, I got these random messages out of nowhere. It's like, hey, Patty, they're all talking about you on the Nikki and Ryan experiment, the Brain Daddy and all of those guys. They're talking about you, and I'm like, okay, that's how it is. Yeah. Like within seconds of you guys talking about me, I got messages from my delightful followers to say, yo, bro, we got your back on this. So, yeah. And then here we are, booked for the next show. What can I say? No. And I just want to say I'm getting paid the exact same amount as both of those.
I was about to say, I wanted to thank you for finally agreeing on the pay that we're offering.
Yeah, exactly. 1,000 Bitcoin per minute. Which I feel is very generous on my part.
Money will be in the mail.
Very generous.
Yes.
Yeah. What's with all of the hats? I thought we were doing like a Santa theme this week. You know,
we've got our new NRX hat. We've got our own merch now, bro.
I mean, I have lots of merch on the way that I've bought off lots of people. So I'm looking forward to showing that off. But
I know
I'm gonna have to get myself an NRX. That's very attractive, I have to say.
Isn't it?
She designed that specific design. So that's all
nice. Her. I like that. And where's your one, Ryan?
It's on its way because I guess where we got them from is like right down the road from her. So they got to ship mine all the way to Arizona. So
and yours will be there Saturday, bud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll be showing it off this weekend.
So, Patty, tell us about. I mean, everybody knows who Patty the Panda is. You are infamous. Yes, in a good way. So tell us about yourself and about your platform and what people can expect from your content.
We got Patty.
Changing my lights there. So I'm Patty the Panda, obviously, and I'm on Tickety Talkety. And most of my content is political, a little bit of humor. I, unlike many other content creators, have diversified after the election. So I'm doing just fine. No problems with me. My followers are still going up. Thanks a lot. So that's what I'm also on YouTube, Patty the Panda. I'm on Twitter. All of my handles are on my YouTube. And yeah, I just like having a bit of fun, a bit of banter, you know, ripping the piss out of people, laughing at the fact that Ryan doesn't know how to talk when I'm around. That kind of thing just really kind of, gets me going. It's great crack. And obviously I can see by the comments that everybody knows me as well. So thanks a million for being here, folks.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Well, Patty, thank you so much for being on with us tonight.
No problem. You guys have to have.
I'm paralyzed. I don't even know what to say now.
Every time he talks, you're gonna ring a bell.
Oh yeah, that's gonna make me talk more.
Actually, Ryan, that one time, that one time, he was not talking much, but from then on, he's got some good shit to say. He goes on his rants. And I'm like, take it, brother.
I've seen the two of you disagree with each other at this point. I've seen you guys bounce off each other. Your show is going from strength to strength. It's really great to see, and I'm really glad that I was a part of that springboard initiative to give you the extra followers to get you over the top. And you're welcome for that.
Thank you, Patty.
Hey, man, I know you're half joking, but hey, man, that's true.
No, I don't think he is.
I'm not joking at all. Like, I'm absolutely genuine, 100%.
Like, really, you're welcome.
I think he is.
Yeah,
my core qualities are humility and modesty. Obviously,
clearly.
You're welcome.
I love you, Patty. You know, I love you to death.
I heard some stories. I watched the last show, and it was like Brain Daddy was like, "Don't talk about Patty." Everybody else was like, Patty's amazing, and then Ryan just didn't even mention me at all. He was like, yeah, Old Man Murphy is my guy. Old Man Murphy, my man, Old Man Murphy. Yeah.
I do love Murphy. Oh my gosh, I just got his merch in today. I ordered one of his shirts. Ooh, I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. Yes,
I need to get it.
Does everybody have merch? Am I like behind the
Dude,
I don't know how you don't have merch already. Right? Seriously,
I would buy your shit in a fucking heartbeat.
What would I put on my stuff? Like,
dude, you could have done your Trump with the wig. You could have done a picture of you with that and put on a shirt, and people would have bought it.
God.
People would have bought it.
Yes.
Legit.
Yeah. No, I'm on
What do you guys
TikTok.
think? I got people live on my TikTok. Would you guys buy Patty's merch?
Look at this.
Would you guys buy his merch?
I know I would. I love
no
Patty.
Oh my gosh. What would I say? Because I say the word cunt a lot. Obviously, we're not monetized.
Yeah, we're not gonna put that on a shirt.
We're allowed to say cunt. Okay, so I would say my cunt is moist. That's one thing. Okay.
Oh, we're picking right up from episode 9, aren't we?
This is 18 plus children.
I could probably say Slán Óáile or something, something like that. Which, it's just Gaeilge. But it needs
to be like your first whatever it is needs to be based on being in Ireland.
Well, or it could be Mike Brain Daddy YT is a gobshite. I could do something on that.
Dude, no. Now that I've got we had Mike on Monday. Now that I've got you on, let me ask you seriously: why have you guys not done Patty and Daddy yet?
Because that's creepy. Like really creepy. When I hear Patty and Daddy, I just hear Daddy. And that's really.
Oh man,
that makes me the opposite of moist. It doesn't do anything for me at all. So we'll probably do something after Christmas because I have a lot of work over the next week or so with my friend in the big red suit to do some bits and pieces for people, including you, Nikki, I think.
Oh yay!
So yeah, so I'm doing that kind of stuff. So I don't have time for Mike. You know what I mean? I don't have time to get him to his 50K. You know what I mean? I got there a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Oh, Mike.
Yeah. Is Mike here? Because I haven't even looked. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Patty. Oh my
Daddy.
With the power hour, just suggest something again. Just like
Patty and Daddy Power Hour.
Yeah.
Nikki, why did we even bother doing an outline today? I don't
know. Just like yeah.
I was really fucking hard on it too.
I know. I'm like, I saw that just went to shit.
just for the people watching, just like this, I get this email with this like PowerPoint thing. It's like we're going to talk about this and this and this and this. I laugh. I'm like, way out of that. And for 4 hours, Nikki was working on it today. Destroyed in 4 minutes by Patty. Fantastic. Happy out.
That's great.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
All right.
I mean, shit.
Let's pull our shit together here.
Let's pull our shit together. So
we had some breaking news before we got on the show, and that is that the U.S. Nuclear Weapons Agency was breached in a massive cyber attack today, and that's bad. That's really bad. They briefed Biden on it, and he already knows, and he's said the same thing, that it's definitely not good. And unfortunately, they hacked several different federal agencies, but the agency that they got the most information out of, unfortunately, was the Nuclear Weapons Agency. So
unbelievable. Seriously, that's scary.
I mean, you say it's unbelievable, but it's very believable. What are we talking about? It's very believable.
So, matter of fact, I moved it up to here, Patty, because I thought it transitioned well from the breaking news, the Russian hack on the military, cyber readiness in the military. Yeah. I moved that up here, so maybe that's a good time for us to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I work in the tech industry and the software industry. So from what I can gather, there's a universal platform that's used in many governmental agencies, and there was a software update on that platform that they use, and that's how they got in. Whilst the system was updating, they got in before a patch could be made on it. What normally happens is if there's a breach, everything locks down, and these firewalls are put in to make sure that the least amount of information can be pulled as possible. Okay. In this instance, though, it seems like those firewalls didn't come in time, which means that the USA readiness in terms of cybersecurity is a couple of months behind the rest of the world. And that should terrify you guys.
I have a question for you, Patty. Outside of the US, looking into this fishbowl of crapshoot shit. So you're in the IT, you understand the software, you understand how this works. When you guys are looking in, do you see or think that Trump had something to do with this in the way of kind of clearing the space for it to happen with his firing and rearranging of the Pentagon staff?
Yeah. Okay. So it's important to make the distinction here. Do I think that Donald Trump partook in treasonous behavior? No. But did Donald Trump create an environment where it was more attractive for outside entities to hack? Absolutely. Like 2 weeks ago, he fired his director for cybersecurity, Chris Krebs, which is a terrible name. I'm sure he was bullied all of a sudden. But like really, I'm sure he was. You know what I mean? Like being fired by Donald Trump is not the worst thing that's happened in his life.
Oh my God.
So like he got fired by Donald Trump, obviously, and that just made a window of opportunity for the Russians. But let's be clear here. It's not as catastrophic as what some people might say, because the USA are doing this all of the time. They've been doing it to Venezuela for the last 2 years. They do it to Iran and Syria and Russia as well. So these things happen on a two-way street. We just hear about it now because it's America. But on Russian television all of the time, they're talking about, the US tried to hack us again today. They got nothing. And that's the kind of thing.
That's
so
pretty good.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah. I've been working on that all day. Yeah.
So basically you're saying that because we haven't heard about this and it hasn't happened to us, that our country was a much stronger country before Trump in terms of cybersecurity.
In terms of cybersecurity, like put it this way, in the last 4 years, we've made more advancements in terms of tech and cyber attacks and cyber malware than we have in the previous 30 years, like without question of a doubt. In the last 6 months, we have. So these things are ongoing and continuously evolving. But Donald Trump, from day one, when we were talking about how the election was rigged and how there was interference by Russia, denied all of that and literally put his cards on the table and said, cyber activity and cyber protection is not something I'm going to worry about. And that's been the case for the last 4 years. And now you have a massive breach, but those breaches have happened before. What worries me is that nobody is talking about it. Nobody at all. And it has taken some people in the intelligence community on the ground to say, we're worried now about our own security and our own safety because we don't know if our identities have been revealed to the Russians at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ryan was talking away to his missus there. So thanks for listening, Ryan. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah. She's much more important than you are.
I know. I love I love what you had to say, though. It's very interesting to me to hear what people from other countries have to say or what their insights are on what is going here, because we are literally in the fishbowl and the media is driven around that fishbowl. And it's, somebody as intelligent as you, it's nice to hear something like that. But anyway, Ryan, do you want to add anything?
No.
Okay. Is everything okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do we're going to move on to Patty. Do you want to say yes? Do you want to say anything else about?
No, I'm good. Okay. I'm good. Yeah.
So there was something that came up the other day. I actually saw it on a TikTok, and there was a girl on there, and she was talking about what happened in Great Neck, Long Island, and it is very, very disturbing. It was the Long Island Hebrew School was hacked with anti-Semitic messages. Hackers posted swastika slurs and Nazi videos. And I'm going to show you guys a video. Ryan, you can come back to all of us. But I want to show you guys a video. But before I do that, I just want to say that these hackers, actually, when they hacked into the system, they obtained information about individuals and their addresses and emails and phone numbers. And now they're getting messages from these people threatening them and sending them these horrible, horrible things. So I don't know. It's very crazy to me that in light of the cyber attacks that we have had with our government, and now the targeting the Jewish community is right in line. It just is very disturbing to me. So I want you guys stay on. I want you to see this video because it is very, very disturbing.
These are some of the disturbing images that popped up on the website of North Shore Hebrew Academy, a yeshiva in Great Neck. Hackers posted swastikas, slurs, and Nazi videos in a grotesque spoof of Holocaust hate. All of it replacing the yeshiva's high school educational portal. County Executive Steve Ballone, it's unfathomable that in this day and age, children on Long Island have to endure these ugly attacks, some of them grandchildren of Holocaust survivors.
That's sick.
Very.
It's sick. And the level of, I guess, and Patty, you know what it takes in order to like have that kind of sophistication to hack something like that. It just spew hate.
The thing there is, it doesn't actually take a whole lot. Like for a hack like that, the two are like the hack on the US government is miles apart from the hack on that school. Like that's kids, so that's 19 and 20-year-old kids who just I could hack into that school no problem just from my laptop right here. Like that stuff is very basic stuff right now, and just hacking into what they said the academic portal there, that literally would take me 5 minutes, no problem. Hack in there, and I could harvest all of that information within minutes. The fact that they're following up with sending messages and emails and stuff like that after confirms to me that it's kids. And I had a look on the dark web just earlier on, and it seems like it is a group of kids doing that. But importantly, like in this day and age, that shouldn't happen. But this is not the first hack this week. Since the start of Hanukkah, every single day there's been a hack or an anti-Semite, a hack or disturbance, in response to Hanukkah, which is really disturbing, which I think is absolutely vile and disgusting. But if people are thinking that this is some sort of, big criminal scenario or Russian bots or whatever, this is kids who literally have done a couple of hours code training and they can hack into that, no problem. Which is why we always need to be careful with our passwords. We need to make sure that we change them regularly. We need to make sure that they're not like Nikki New 813 is my password, or my password is password. We need to make sure that those things don't happen, because all I need to know is to get two of your characters correct. Absolutely, Nikki New's password is password. That is hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that you snorted, that just makes me a happy man. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the last snort we get today.
What the hell is happening? Anyway, I'm just here to give the information, and the two guys are just like,
okay. So I just have to say this. Oh my God. Okay, I just have to say this. My husband is on my ass all the time. What's up, guys? About my passwords. Okay. So he is like literally like 20 of all this bullshit stuff I haven't even seen on the keyboard before, because he's a software guy. And I'm like, the fuck? And he's like, he just memorizes everything. He's like one of those idiot savants that can memorize everything. I'm like, can you write that down? He's like, I can't write that down.
Did you just say idiot savants?
I mean, I'm loving the dynamic of your marriage. It's fantastic.
I'll tell you something about my husband. He is the best thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. I mean it. Beautiful. I mean it completely, 100%. He is the best thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life.
That's going to make me cry, because you're married and Ryan is married and I'm not married. Thanks for that. Appreciate
that. But anytime you come on our show, it turns into a freaking dating.
No. I mean, enough of that now. Enough of that.
It's gonna happen. It's
no more. No more.
They're even on my page talking about it. They're on my live talking about it. They're on my look. Nikki is my favorite. Patty is so funny. They're on my live talking about you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so the anti-Semitism. Let's get back to that. Yeah. Jesus. So from a context from outside of Ireland. So obviously it was. Do you remember a couple of days ago it was a blackout day for Jewish creators and whatnot?
Yes.
So I took a look into Ireland and what's the situation with the Jewish community in Ireland. And I was happy to find that the Jewish community has said that there's zero anti-Semitism in Ireland. Zero. None. They don't experience it in any way, shape, or form. Now, there's a very small community of Jewish people here. It's only 2,500, but they are flourishing in Ireland when you have an open mind and you embrace it and you don't care what somebody's religion is. Things can be really, really wonderful, which is why, again, it's just one of those other reasons why I'm so worried about the USA, because you seem to constantly be regressing, really, on social issues.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, 100%. It feels like we're constantly taking a step backwards right now. The last year, it's not even steps backwards. It's like we're taking leaps, back in time. I don't know. It feels drastic. It just feels very drastic. Like I said, I don't know how it, it sounds like it looks the same to you, but from where I'm sitting, it feels the last 6 months to a year, it has revealed a lot to me personally.
I feel like our country, the USA, is fractured. It used to be so solid and so everybody looked up to the USA. We are not only a laughing stock because of this president, or if you want to call him that, but our country is fractured. It's not stable anymore. And, now we're having cyber attacks, and it's like they see how weak we are. And now this is the chance for them to come at us. And that's scary to me.
And the rhetoric from Donald Trump for the last 4 years is, I've rebuilt the military. I've rebuilt this country to be the great superpower that we once were. And the reality is, like, wars are won now in the cyber sphere and economically. You don't use tanks anymore. You don't use ships. You don't use those things anymore. And Donald Trump just spent $25 trillion over the last 4 years on that stuff. It makes no sense to me.
Well, this is coming from a guy that has his flip phone that has to hit A 3 times to get, or hit, 1 3 times to get a C when he texts his, when he, puts in his Twitter.
There's so many people in the comment section right now and on your live, Ryan, that have no idea what you're talking about, because they don't understand that we used to have to press buttons to get characters. They don't understand anymore.
Flip phone, you had to go, it was A, B, C, which was number 1. If you wanted to get to C, you had to go boop, boop, boop on 1 to get the letter C.
No, here's how you explain it. When people text you like, see you later, and it's like a C and then a U and then a L and an A. We're the ones that came up with that shit, because we weren't going to type out the whole freaking word. Okay, it was
in Ireland it would be CUNT, and that's
next
how we would say things.
I know you like that one.
How you doing? See you next Tuesday, you motherfucker. I never fucking liked you, you schmuck.
Hi, Sadia.
Sadia is in the house.
Hi, baby.
Sadia is moving to Ireland. Her room is set up there with the other 90,000 rooms that I have for my adoptees. Sadia's room is all set up now. Yeah, so got the Wi-Fi for you, Sadia.
Her cyber
smart, beautiful girl.
Yeah, no, she was.
If you guys do not follow Sadia, you have to follow her. She is going to be coming out with her voice soon. She does the point, like, she's amazing, but good God, this woman has so much.
She's much more than that. Yeah.
Her roots go deep, and she doesn't even realize it, I don't think.
So deep.
Don't dirty that up. Don't dirty.
Oh, I wasn't even there. I wasn't even in the dirty zone. Come on, man. Gee, come on. Anyway, anti-Semitism. Are we finished with that or what?
So that's a good. Well, we were talking about the hackers and everything, and just because it's computer based and we had to make it fit in somewhere, we had to talk about Twitter and Bot Sentinel now labeling Donald Trump as 100% problematic, meaning he's 100% full of shit.
He's so full of shit that it's actually leaking out of Rudy Giuliani's ears.
Oh wow! That's cool. Yeah.
But no,
and yet, I'm Ryan.
Trump is the first person that bot Sentinel, to my knowledge and from what I've read, he is the first person that bot Sentinel has ever listed at 100%. Like bullshit.
I swear it.
You won, Trumpy. You got 100%.
He got 100% at something.
Like never before. I got 100% from bot Sentinel, whatever that is. I'm sure it's the congressman somewhere. But I got 100%, the highest of anybody in the history of the Twitter.
Look, so it's almost like you guys have been watching my content for the last couple of days, but I did a video on this as well. It is the first person the bot Sentinel have ever seen at 100%. But also, let's remind people that 64% of all of Trump's followers are bots as well. Like so his numbers aren't real across the board. It's
slap in his face there. I love it.
Like his ego must be shrinking on a daily. You know what I mean? And yet he continues to tweet this nonsense every single day. In fact, he's tweeting stuff now that Rand Paul is then on Fox News saying, well, the president said there's been mass voter fraud. And then Donald Trump then tweets the clip of Rand Paul saying that there was voter fraud as evidence of voter fraud. You know, that's how it's working right now. You know what I mean?
This is a shit show. A legit shit show. It's like kindergarten.
It's not kindergarten. There's no way to describe what this is because it's never been. It's never happened in this country, you know. And unfortunately for us, I think a lot of folks in our country, in the United States of America, can't learn from other people's history. Like this has happened before in other countries. The kind of shit that we're seeing right now, and it usually led to some bad shit. So maybe we should kind of take a step back and. Get on the same page.
It seems to be.
Go ahead, Patty.
I shouldn't even say.
No, I was just trying to think of another country that may have had similar issues in the past. It's like Germany. Yeah.
Right on the tip. Of Germany. You know.
It seems to me like I don't know. I kind of see a trackway to people that didn't pay attention in history class. They didn't really give a shit about history, and these are the people that don't remember it, and now it's trying to repeat itself, and thank God that it's not going to, because he was voted out. Honestly, I think about what would have happened if he actually was voted back in.
I thought somebody tweeting
think what our country would be in the next 4 years. I feel as though we would be a dictatorship. Honestly, I do. That's where we were headed.
Yep. No, I mean, I have zero question about that now. Mm-hmm. We've talked about it on every podcast last month. Mm-hmm. But when we first started, it was kind of like, I hemmed and hawed, but now I see just how close we have become to a true dictatorship.
Wow. Look what he's doing. Try and undermine our democracy.
Yeah, and people that should have stood up and stopped this and put their foot down and stepped in before this got as bad as it did, and did not. Like that to me is one of the most scary things. This system that was put into place that was supposed to check itself didn't.
Mm-hmm. It sure should.
So Jen O'Malley Dillon is Joe Biden's one of his campaign manager, team members, and she did an interview, like, was it yesterday, I think, where she called Republicans fuckers, and she said these fuckers and all of the people who should have been standing up for democracy in America when Donald Trump was causing tyranny and oppression are now going berserk over the fact that this Democrat called Republicans fuckers. How dare she? Well, do you know what? I would have gone one for it. It begins with C, ends with T, and has a United Nations in the middle. See what I did there?
Yeah, that was good.
But the point is that these people should have been doing that. And I look at America and I'm seeing all of these flags, and these are all very proud of your history, etc. The proudest moment in your recent history was when you entered World War II and helped save the world from fascism. And yet you guys don't seem to want to be proud of that moment anymore at all. Why? Because 99.9% of the people who fought in that war are now dead, and nobody's talking about it anymore. And that's the reality.
But more importantly, I think that what Nikki was saying, it's not just they don't know that that's what they were fighting back then. A lot of the people that like our age and younger, they don't understand that that's what they were fighting, fascism in the first place.
Yeah. They don't, our generation and generations past don't know, and they can't understand the implicate, like the seriousness of something like this. Yeah. And it's gotten lost in translation. And I know that this is why history is so very important, guys. If you are like somebody that's in high school or whatever right now listening, history is one of the most important subjects that you could study, because history will repeat itself unless you are educated about it and you stop it. And that is almost what happened in our country. I'm looking at what's happening now, that people want a fucking civil war. That's scary to me, because this guy is proclaiming that, there was voter fraud, and that's one of the identifying traits of a dictator, is to undermine the media and to undermine elections. Yep. This is what he has been doing for months or years.
And it feels like they're starting to try to do it in Georgia, in these Georgia runoff elections too.
Oh, do you remember that poem by, I think it's Martin Niemöller? Do you know that poem? It's like, first they came for the socialists and I didn't say anything because I'm not a socialist. Then they came for the Jews and I didn't say anything because I'm not a Jew. Then they came for the blacks and I didn't say anything because I'm not black. And then they came for me and there was nobody left to say anything.
Yes, I did.
What I mean? And that's the United States right now. So these trumpets are that person who's saying that. They're coming for everybody. And you see that with Donald Trump. The Supreme Court is now the enemy. The Democrats are the enemy. Joe Biden is the enemy. Like those who support him in the past are the enemy. Bill Barr is now the enemy. Everybody's the enemy except for that cohort of fanatics. And everybody else is disposable. And that's scary. That's really scary.
It's crazy to me. I'm getting teared up because that was beautifully said. That quote. But it's crazy to me that every single person that disagrees with what Trump has to say, all of his lies, he ostracizes. But all of these people believe him and they go after these people. It's like they can't think for themselves. They are just blind with this cultish behavior. It's very scary to me. Like, we saw the David Koresh in Texas. I don't know if you guys are even old enough to remember that, but it was I think it was Texas. It was in Waco. Mm-hmm. Was David Koresh, and like all these other like cults that have like the dude that with the Kool-Aid. These were smaller cults. This is nationwide. This is worldwide, this cult.
Yeah,
it is.
It is a legit cult.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's worldwide.
They hate the same people he does.
I don't think it's worldwide at all, just to be clear.
Not worldwide.
They think that it's worldwide. They believe that Donald Trump is revered and loved around the world. And that's just because they don't have access to the information that's been given in the rest of the world to see that that's really not the case. Because when you're in the fishbowl and you're just seeing stuff that's in the fishbowl, you have no idea what's going on in the ocean. Not a clue. Geez, I'm really coming out with these great one-liners tonight. I should write some of this stuff down. It's great.
So Patty, do you see it as a cult? You see it as a cult? Do you not?
So it reminds me, and some people might get annoyed at me at this, it reminds me of the Catholic Church in Ireland in the 1960s and 1970s, where no matter what happened, you referred to the church, and the most important person in your village was the priest. And no matter the atrocities that were happening to you, your family, or to society, and we know that there was sexual abuse and babies were being sold by nuns, and it was really horrific. But at no point did you defer from the church because it was so important in society, despite people outside of Ireland saying, what the hell is going on there? And it wasn't until we joined the European Union in 1973 that we realized, oh my God, oh my God, we've been so blind. We've let these people literally regulate our sexuality and tell us who we can be, what we can do, what we can watch. Like, up until recently, The Life of Brian, that movie, was banned in Ireland because it spoke out against Catholicism in a kind of humorous way. So that reminds me somewhat of what's happening in the US in terms of Trumplicans, because it's, you believe this and you don't deter from this in any way, shape, or form, no matter the evidence that's given to you. And it's not going to change until people are educated at an early age to let them know that autonomous thought, autonomous learning, and listening to outside perspectives is the way to go. And at the end, if you still want to be a Trumplican, that's cool. That's no problem. But at least you'll have gotten there by education rather than a cult scenario.
Very well said, Patty. Thank you. So, all right, with that, great discussion, fantastic discussion, in my opinion. All right, so I don't know, like you talked about the Twitter. So all eyes are on Georgia right now. Georgia, and I know, Patty, that you are looking inside, or you're looking out into the inside of the U.S. right now. Georgia really is everything for us to be able to move forward as a country. We've got those 2 Senate seats up for grab, and we have Ossoff and Warnock, able to win these races, and we have Loeffler and Perdue, these dipshits that are trying to take the Senate seats. Okay. So
Nikki, I'm going to ask you a question. Nikki, I just want to ask you your straight up opinion. Tell me in 5 words or less what you think of Kelly Loeffler. just in 5 words or less.
Fucking cunt or dipshit.
Dipshit.
You're welcome. Yeah. But wait, I am going to prove my point. Thank you, Patty.
Actually, just carry on.
Oh, hello. He can't stand to watch Kelly Loeffler either. So I want to show you guys a video about or what happened in Georgia when Kelly Loeffler was interviewed. Now, I honestly what is he doing? I
forgot my milk. Oh, wow, the snorts are back. That's great.
I love you. God, I love you.
I love the fact that I love the fact that whilst I bring some intelligent conversation to this, it's great. But I also just throw it completely off kilter as well. It's fantastic.
I love you. Okay, so I want to show you guys this clip. Please watch it all the way through. And I want you to have a pen and paper or your hands or in your brain how many times she says, look. Okay, but actually listen to what she's saying. She's a fucking ear.
Senator, do you plan to join with members of the House to object to Joe Biden's electors on January 6th?
Well, look, January 6th is a long ways off right now. We've got a Senate race to run here in Georgia. We've got to win. The future of the country is on the ballot.
Is it accurate to say you haven't decided on that one yet?
Look, I haven't looked at it. January 6th is a long way off. There's a lot to play out between now and then.
Senator McConnell has called to congratulate President-elect Biden. Is that something you've done? Do you plan to do that in the future?
Look, I'm focused on winning this race on January 5th. I talked to Leader McConnell this morning. We're focused very much on delivering relief.
Have you acknowledged that Biden is going to be the president?
Look, the president has a right to every legal recourse. That's what's playing out right now.
But have you acknowledged that Biden is going to be president?
Look, my focus is on winning this race right now.
Ever acknowledged that Biden will be going to be president?
Look, there'll be a time for that if that becomes true, but the president has a right to every legal recourse.
Feel concerned at all if you don't acknowledge that Biden is going to be the president-elect, that you might lose some voters in the runoff?
Look, my focus right now is my race. It has to be, because the American dream is on the ballot.
But are you worried specifically if that stance by not acknowledging him might backfire as you are campaigning to to be elected.
What I'm worried about is that we have free and fair elections that are trusted here in Georgia.
Senator McConnell has acknowledged President-elect Biden as a president-elect, and do you face a risk by not following his example? And you said you had a conversation with him this morning. Was that a topic of conversation at all?
Look, I'm the voice for Georgians, and Georgians want to know that they have free and fair elections. That's what I'm fighting for.
Look, wow. It shouldn't even be a question at this point. How is Reverend Warnock not like, yeah.
I am going to say this. She doesn't stand a chance.
She shouldn't.
And I'm going to say this: her seat is bought and paid for. Her seat is bought and paid for.
Yes.
I can promise you. She is going to win her seat. I promise.
You think she's going to win?
She was appointed. She was appointed in the first place.
I'm telling you.
I can't see her. Seriously,
you
Patty?
think she's going to win?
Bought and paid for her. I'm really sorry to say it.
By that.
Bought and paid for her. Her connections, and her connections in particular with Mitch McConnell and his wife, mean that she is absolutely going to be reelected.
But how are they going to?
How are they going to get reelected? If
the Republicans, the party of voter suppression, how are they going to do it? Absolutely, her seat is bought and paid for. I'm telling you. And on January 5th, when it's all counted, because I've been right all along for this entire stuff. I've been right. But yeah, I think her seat is bought and paid for. And
this is where Georgians need to get out and they need to vote. You don't think it's going to matter? Don't even say that.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, America. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second. What do we get if you're wrong?
Card saying vote for
what do you get?
What do we get? I want you to tell the 72 people that are live with us right now and everybody that's going to hear this podcast after, which is actually quite a few, by the way. What do we get when you're wrong?
Oh, wow. I mean, that's, what do you get? Like, what do you want? What do you want? See?
Me personally, I would like to be something extremely embarrassing for you, preferably. Ooh. Fat guy in a little coat. The Chris Farley fat guy in a little coat. Little dance for us.
Who's Chris Farley?
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding you. Saturday Night Live. And so I'll do something like that. Yeah, I'll do a hippopotamus thirst trap type thing, and no problem. That's fine.
No. Hang on. I need some more information as to what a hippopotamus.
It's where I get my own lady lumps out. I'll reveal the cleavage. I'll reveal the belly button, and I'll have just a tiny little monkey waistcoat on.
Monkey what?
Yeah, do you know those little waistcoats? Monkey waistcoat.
A monkey waistcoat? No, I don't know what a monkey waistcoat is.
Isn't fair because I've seen his thirst trap before, and that's exactly what he's going to post because that shit's good. Like that's fucking good.
No. It's got to be something new. It's got to be something you haven't done before. No.
You need to run outside in the freezing cold in the winter. Okay.
It's not that cold here, but also I haven't run anywhere since 1992.
Steadily, carefully out the door in the cold in shorts and a t-shirt.
That's what I wear all the time. That's not new for me.
That's not new. No.
I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt right now. Okay.
All right. To be named later. We need to come up with something better.
Yeah, I feel as though we're losing the momentum of the conversation.
But to be clear, Patty says that Kelly Loeffler is going to win. Yeah. And Nikki and I are saying that
I really don't.
She should are you kidding? After watching that video that she just posted in combination with the freaking debate, that woman can't say anything other than the 3 sentences she's been prepped for.
Ryan, I know that she has the personality of a parsnip. I know. Trust me, I know. There's nobody disagreeing with that. She's stiff as a board. I get that, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm really sorry.
Hey, so real quick before we move on, we wanted to point out, if you haven't noticed the hat that Nikki's wearing, it's our brand new Nikki and Ryan Experiment. Sorry, Nikki and Ryan Experiment hat. And Nikki designed. She spent time and designed that all by herself. So I'll have my sweatshirt and my hat here on Saturday. But
that's amazing.
They are officially up for sale.
I can't wait to get wait to get my free samples. Taking part
you're on the show 3 times, you get a free hat. So you got one to go.
You know what's hilarious? No, I've been. This is my 3rd time, by the way. Just to be clear, this is my 3rd time. And also, none of you have noticed. I've actually changed my hat 3 times since the start of the show.
Yes. All right, hold on. You guys talk. Hold on.
Okay. Hi, Ryan. How you doing?
Hi.
You good?
How are you?
How's life? You well?
You know,
Ryan, I can't wait till tomorrow because you get more beautiful every single day.
Oh, and
here we go. Yay!
And there's the beanie. We have our beanie too. See, guys, look, we have our beanies that Nikki's wearing. So you can buy our beanies. You can buy our hats. You can buy. We've got what? We've got shirts. We've got sweaters. I think.
We got masks.
I don't know fucking.
Oh, we should. Man, hey, Nikki, masks.
It's
masks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Masks.
Like what are you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say. I said masks in a video one day, and I had so many people trying to say masks. They stitched me. Did you see those? It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
Go with NRX. I like it.
Yes.
Okay, real quick. Somebody said something I had to ask Pat.
How do you rock? Yeah.
Ryan, ask Patty who won the All Ireland hurling final this year.
Fuck you, Anna.
I take it that was a sore spot there, Patty.
So in Ireland, we actually have a national sport. So it's called the Gaelic Athletic Association. So it's hurling and football. Yeah. And these are local sports that are played by amateurs, and it's incredibly competitive. Like games have 80,000 plus people at them. You know, it's really competitive. Like your hometown versus another hometown kind of stuff. And my home county of Wexford didn't win this year, but Limerick, Anna is obviously from Limerick. They won this year. Thanks, Anna.
Anna.
I love it. Yeah. Look at that. He's like, ouch.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of, the Patriots getting to another Super Bowl, and losing. It's
Patriots.
Well, now that Brady's not on the Patriots, I can give 2 shits.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one year that I'm proud to be a Pats fan because we're not winning so much.
The Cam Newton.
Patriots all the way. Yeah, Patriots all the way. Yeah. Don't forget, Nikki, I lived in Boston for a few years, and so gotta represent. Yo, why am I acting like this? Why am I saying these things?
It's every time you
my girl. Yeah.
What's in that milk?
Keep talking.
This is straight from the cow today.
Oh, jeez. Well, all right. So now that I've plugged our hats and everything, we're going to move on to section 230, which Patty, I believe that was something you put on.
What?
Didn't you put that on our outline? The section
section 230. Yeah. I feel as though I'm talking a lot today. So section 230, for those people who don't understand, is a liability shield that was given to social media companies and other companies to distinguish them from publishing companies, to distinguish them from newspapers. Yep. And it's a liability shield that means that we can type and post pretty much whatever we want within the guidelines of the platform that we're using. And it gives us an element of free speech without the liability that goes with writing something in a newspaper. Mm-hmm. What Donald Trump is asking in the new defense budget is that be repealed. Now, what would happen if that was repealed? Twitter would be liable for every single post that goes onto their site, which means that they would have to review every single post that goes on their site. And Donald Trump's Twitter page would be one of the first to be removed because it would be a liability a warning for Twitter, and they wouldn't be able to maintain that kind of insurance against that liability. So Donald Trump, by getting rid of Section 230, would literally be muzzling himself.
Like,
and he's too stupid to know it. He's too stupid to know it.
And that's exactly what I got from it, is that it opens these huge social media companies like Facebook and Twitter to, if somebody posts something, they're liable.
Yeah.
And like, why would he want to get rid of that? He's already being monitored on Twitter. January 20th, if Twitter doesn't get rid of his at 12 p.m., does not get rid of his account, there's going to be hell to pay, because this mofo has gotten, if you run through his page, it is like just bullshit after bullshit. They're calling him out. And
Trump's Twitter does nothing but incite violence and distribute misinformation. That's all his page does.
Now, the only reason why his Twitter page is still there is because Twitter have given an exemption to world leaders and people of importance in the world. If it's in the best interest of the community on Twitter to have this voice, that they've said, okay, we will give them a certain leniency in terms of the guidelines. But they themselves have said that at 12:01 on the 20th of January, that exemption is gone for him. And I would say that certainly by the end of January, his Twitter page will be gone. And then, of course, he will sue them. But yeah.
Here's
and hopefully lose.
Me off about all of this is that he is an employee of the American people. Why is he getting at the highest level of the government access to be able to spew this bullshit? He's the first one that should have been shut down, because he's the one that can do the most damage.
Well, I think after this, our social media platforms and Twitter need to do just that. They need to rethink this exemption that Patty just said, because clearly it's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is there's actually a POTUS account and there's a Donald Trump account. So because he's tweeting from his Donald Trump account, it kind of removes him from that I'm a public servant scenario. Mm-hmm. Even though it was argued in court that all of his tweets are official statements by the White House. But it's just like with my Twitter account, I have to say all views are my own. They don't represent my clients, etc. And most people do that. Donald Trump should really do that too. But yeah, the sooner he's gone, Twitter will be quiet for a little while, but we will all just find something new to talk about.
He is straight up entertainment, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, entertainment or Schadenfreude right now. Is he Schadenfreude? I'm happy looking at him fall apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is that right now, like, he is pure entertainment because he is disintegrating in front of our eyes. And this is what he deserves, in my opinion. He is just caustic.
So what do you think?
In my opinion, he deserves the death penalty because of all of the deaths.
I agree. 100%.
Like, he should be in The Hague. He should be tried for negligible genocide. By
like shooting death or whatever.
It's lethal injection. Yeah, it's lethal injection.
No, he wants to implement the death by firing squad. And what was the other one, Ryan? It was. There was another one. It wasn't lethal.
Firing squad, and what was the other one?
So I'm sorry I read it. I read that whole thing, and so again, ambiguity and the US seems to go hand in hand at the moment. So they were looking at ways of speeding up how to kill people on death row, and in some states, the wording was do everything in your power to speed up the process, and in some states, everything in your power would sometimes include firing squad or hanging. It wasn't a policy change. It was just an ambiguity scenario whereby there was a loophole that people could be shot. Yeah.
Well, here's my question. Why does he want to all of a sudden on his way out speed up the killings, the death penalty of these people now? Like, all of a sudden on his way out, like, why? Is he just that sick of a fuck that he is just like kill as many people as I can on my way out the door? kind of shit. I mean, that's so messed up.
Well, actually, there's another thing, and this sounds so, but it's typically Donald Trump. So some prisons have death row prisoners. If you get rid of all of them, you don't have to be a maximum security prison. You can open up your prison to other prisoners, like have an open prison. Like your whole prison system is a business now, so it's for profit. So if you get rid of the maximum security requirements in order to have these death sentence prisoners, then you can bring in another 2,000 prisoners, and every week your revenue from the state goes up. So that's a potential scenario. I have no evidence, but that just seems like it's something Donald Trump would do for his cronies in the prison system, because it's like, I can't believe your prison system. It's a for-profit scenario that's supposed to be about rehabilitation, but depends on recidivism and people committing more crimes to come back in and be repeat customers. Oh my God, you guys!
It's Orange is the New Black. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's exactly what's happening there in that show. But not trying to compare. I mean, but
lots of lesbian stuff in that show, so I'm not sure. Yeah, not sure. But that I enjoyed that stuff.
Oh my God, I love you. Okay, so let's talk about Mar-a-Lago. All right, so Mar-a-Lago is where Trump has his big resort there, or private club, or whatever you want to call it, golf club. So his residents have this to say. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Mar-a-Lago neighbors to Trump: spend your post-presidency elsewhere. I mean, they actually literally hate this guy. They're like, don't come back here. But here's the problem with Mar-a-Lago, okay, is that Mar-a-Lago was a private estate. When Trump turned it over to a private club, he had to deal with what came along with it. And what came along with it was that no one person is allowed to live or to stay in this private club for more than 3 weeks. And he is expecting to go back to Mar-a-Lago as a private resident to live with Melania, although Melania's, she's going to probably go back to New York or something. He can't. And his neighbors, the people around the area, they don't want him. And they're suing because it goes against the law of the contract that was drawn up when he actually made it into a public club. So where's he going to go?
So this happened in 1985. He signed this agreement that nobody could stay in the club for more than 21 days. Again, I looked into it a little bit further. So technically, all he has to do is stay there for 20 days and then go to New York for 2 days and then come back and stay for 20 days and then go to New York for 2 days and come back, because he's not in breach of that 21-day rule. The big issue for this is with the Secret Service. It spoils their plans, and they need to now double their efforts to protect Donald Trump after he leaves office by having not one, but multiple domiciles for Donald Trump, which is going to cost you, the taxpayer, 5 to 6 times more to protect him than any other president after they've left the office. So that's, for me, that's a big issue. And of course, look, Donald Trump will bring all of those residents to court like he always does, and he'll tie it all up, and they'll get fatigued and they'll drop everything. That's the way he goes. But you guys are going to be spending tens of millions of dollars every year for Donald Trump to live in Mar-a-Lago and go golfing. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think it's fucking ridiculous.
I think it is completely ridiculous. Yep. But I honestly, Patty, I don't think Ryan, and I don't think Trump's going to get that far. I honestly think he is going to be so caught up in litigation that he's going to have to be able to put himself somewhere that, somewhere in a constant state. Never mind. Disregard.
Good talk, Nikki.
Wherever he wants. He is so ingrained in and understands litigation because he has been in it for years. Many cases.
He spent decades protecting himself and insulating himself against all of the things that he's going to do. He will literally, like there's 7 big cases waiting for him once he gets out from the Southern District of New York. And one of those is the DNA sample that he has to provide because of the litigation with the lady he said he never raped. But he will literally, he'll go in there and he'll say, okay, so you have something on me. I'll give you Eric for 2 years. He can go to prison for 2 years. You can get a result, and I'll belt away and do my thing. And that's what he will do. Yes. You know, it's that simple. And he's that much of a shitbag. And then he'll start planning his 2024 run with himself and his daughter Ivanka, and he'll be like, oh hey Eric, oh that's what you look like now. Yeah, like he doesn't care about his kids. Like Eric will go to prison, Don Jr. will go to rehab, and Ivanka will go to the bedroom and light the candles. Yeah.
All right then.
Hey Nikki, how you doing? You're allowed to laugh at my jokes. It looks terrible when Ryan is there stone faced and you're snorting off camera.
Oh my God. Yeah. Patty, there is no one on this earth that loves your jokes more than I do. Let's just get that clear. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So yes.
Ryan, what do you think about paying extra money for Donald Trump to go golfing?
I think maybe Epstein's Island's still up for sale, and he'll just go there and disappear, and we'll never have to hear from him again. He can take Ivanka with him. They can do their thing.
She's too old, apparently.
Right.
She probably is for that island. She'd probably go on that island and catch fire because she's too old.
Oh my God, that was Vicky, right? Vicky that said that just now. Vicky. Oh my gosh, because Ryan said the literal exact same thing.
It's literally on our, it was going to be a joke, but since we haven't followed our fucking outline at all.
Why is that? Why is that?
You.
Me? What?
But no, we had it on there. It said maybe Epstein's Island is still up for sale. So yeah, we were going to say it. You beat us to it.
And then Vicky totally nailed that.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Vicky, good job, baby.
No, I don't, the amount of money that he's going to cost this country after he's out of office, like you said, is going to be pretty substantial and ridiculous. Especially for somebody who's not going to, he's not going to partake in any of the typical or normal post-presidency things. He's not going to show up to events. He's not going to, he's just going to be on, like I said, on the golf course doing nothing and soaking up all this money because we have to keep protecting him. Mm-hmm. And especially this clown. Can you imagine how many Secret Service is going to take? He's got to be more protected than the first black president. That you got to be a real piece of shit to have that many people hate you.
There are some Trump supporters who are calling Trump the first black president.
I saw that.
Like what?
Like what?
Well, exactly. That's my point. These Republicans who say how much they've done for black people, they don't even fucking realize that they've done fucking nothing for black people, and that the Democratic Party, the party that I belong to, we've actually put up a black president, and now we've put up the first female vice president. And oh, by the way, she just happens to be black and brown. Okay, so more reason why the Republican Party is so full of shit. It's really hard because I try to just make it about Trump, like Donald Trump. He's a piece of shit, horrible human being. Don't know how he got to the presidency. I really try to be fair. But at the end of the day, all you fucking Republicans that still support this clown and say stupid shit like that, that's why I look at you all and say you're ignorant, fucking traitorous cowards. Okay, and I don't know any other way to put it.
Amen.
I'm so moist for you right now, Ryan. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was yeah.
I'm gonna go out of the scene here. You guys can get
Patty.
Just the two of us.
Patty, high five.
No, you.
I mean, I'm worried. I mean, how many people are still watching? Like
we still got 70. We still got 70 people on here.
Like 11 people.
Ryan Rants, yes.
Moving on.
Moving on. The coronavirus numbers and the herd immunity cover-up. Nikki.
Yes. So staggering numbers coming out of the USA. Sorry, there was a bug there. It was Trump, and I just squashed him. Current total numbers. This is not a joke, but it's it's like close to 17.5 million people have been infected, like in totality. 317,000 people in America have died. Okay. Here's the thing that really pisses me off is that now there are documents that are coming out, memorandums that are coming out that show that the administration has been suppressing, shocker, all of the numbers, trying to place blame on the scientists like Fauci, that they don't know what they're talking about and that this is on them and they're saying this and that and whatever. I just want to show you. Oh, actually, Ryan, do you have the memorandum up?
Oh, darn it.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. So the Trump administration played politics with the pandemic. They absolutely played.
Okay, now I've got it up. I got it.
Pandemic that killed now 317,000 Americans. They have literally. Do you want to read this? Please, it is so disturbing.
Okay, so this is the memorandum that Nikki was talking about.
I'm going to put it up, but Ryan's going to read it.
Yeah, I'm going to read it. This memorandum describes evidence recently obtained by the Select Subcommittee showing that a Trump administration appointee at the Department of Health and Human Services, senior advisor Paul Alexander, privately strategized with other top administration officials as far back as June of 2020 about pursuing a so-called herd immunity strategy in response to the coronavirus pandemic. And the second highlighted area says, consistent with the herd immunity approach, the evidence obtained by the Select Subcommittee shows that Dr. Alexander privately acknowledged to other appointees that we always knew that cases will rise as a result of the administration's policies. Yet even as he advocated for letting the coronavirus spread widely, Dr. Alexander also attempted to pass blame for the administration's failure to contain the virus to career scientists and public health officials. He also urged colleagues to suppress scientific information about the risk posed by the virus to minority communities that he admitted was very accurate out of concern that it would be used against the president.
So here you have Alexander, who was put in place by, I think, our president, not for very much longer, but he literally was making shit up, hiding stuff, sending there are documents. I was reading these documents. It's 16 pages of this correspondence between these people with the CDC and the FDA and the HHS, and it's nuts. Like, they literally wanted to build a herd immunity where they're like, okay, so children and kids of this age and blah, 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 and young adults, they're not going to catch it as bad. Now, their findings were very minimal at that point. They were not established completely yet. Now we're seeing an uptick in the younger, infections. But this was very risky. What if there was something that was underlying that actually affected the younger generation? Does it matter if they're younger or older? They were putting everybody at risk by saying these things. And do you want to know why? Because they were saying they were trying to protect the president right now. They were saying these things.
Not the American people.
No, they were trying to get Trump reelected, and they were hiding and lying about their findings. And not only that, but December 10th, they have been told to destroy documents the CDC, the higher up officials destroyed these documents because they knew that people were coming after them. The law was coming after them. So they've been destroying documents left and right.
Yep.
It is a complete 100% cover up. And I can't wrap my head around what is going on in our country right now. Patty wants to say something. Honestly.
Sorry. Go ahead, Patty.
I'm not surprised. Like, Donald Trump has been acting like this for months anyway. He brought in Scott Atlas from Fox News to push this narrative as well. But I think what's most surprising is we expect it now from Donald Trump. We expect it from Kayleigh McEnany. We expect it from these people, but we don't expect this type of criminality from the rank and file of these organizations, who many of whom have taken an oath to protect the lives and health and safety of humans in general. So I understand your frustration. Obviously, we expect it from some, but we certainly don't expect it from the rank and file. And obviously, this is one of the reasons why Anthony Fauci was silenced for months there, where he wasn't addressing the people, because behind the scenes, all of this kind of stuff was going on. And, Joe Biden again now will have months of a setback to try and repair the trust with the public and these organizations, to say these people can be trusted. Well, no, they can't be trusted because they were trying to kill us all there 2 months ago. No, they can be trusted now because I'm in charge. Well, no, it doesn't quite work that way. And with vaccines, etc., needed to be given, now is the time that we need the most amount of trust in these people. And now we've just established that they were trying to kill us all, or all of you.
And the point that I want to drive home on the piggyback of that is like John here was saying, is that Trump's had an heavy influence on the CDC and defunded the World Health Organization. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, that's okay, that's normal, particularly Republicans. Now I want to ask this serious question. Now that everything that you just heard and that Nikki just explained, do you see it now? Do you see how they diverted information to the White House so that they could take it and do exactly what we just told you, so that they could hide it from the American people in order to get Donald Trump reelected at the expense of American lives? I don't know how you fuckers, I don't know how you don't see it. I don't know how much more detailed of a picture I need to draw you for you to understand that they took this information. They took all the testing data, how many people were dying, how bad it was. They took all that information and had the CDC send it to the White House instead of doing its own internal thing. And then on top of it, he pointed the finger at the World Health Organization and said, look, they don't know what they're doing. They keep changing their mind. Okay. And you guys all believed it and kept looking at us and telling us that we were fucking crazy. Well, guess what? Now it comes out that these cocksuckers were holding back the information so that they could get this dipshit reelected. And literally, they don't give a fuck about you. So why are you defending these people when folks like me and Nikki and Patty get on here and point all this shit out? Just look at us and say, you know what? We were wrong. Okay, cool. We all are wrong sometimes. But fuck, can you just admit that Donald Trump is a fuck up? He's ruined our country and that we need to fix it? Is that so hard? Like, how fucking hard is that?
And meanwhile, Ryan, just to piggyback on what you were saying there in terms of the WHO, meanwhile, the rest of the world, when Donald Trump said we're cutting funding for the WHO, Ireland and most other countries decided to triple their contribution to the WHO. They doubled up on sharing information. We have treaties amongst dozens and dozens of westernized countries that share as much information as possible. So everybody's talking to everyone. So it's completely transparent, and it makes sure that the fewest amount of people die. And that's why America, with only 4% of the population, has 24% now of all cases. You guys have 10 million new cases in the last 7 weeks. 10 million new cases in the last 7 weeks. And the rest of the world is getting better.
So here's my question is I don't understand the reason why they would, it's almost like they were experimenting on our population with this. Like they were just too lazy to do what needed to be done. And they experimented like, let's do the herd immunity thing. And then the cover up, oh my God. And Fauci, all of these scientists that they've wrecked, they tried to, decredit these amazing scientists that have been in this, scientific world for years, decades. and they are throwing them under the bus at every turn. And these people are believing it. And then they remember the witch doctor? Yeah. Because she agreed with what Trump had to say. Remember the witch doctor? I can't remember what her name was. Holy shit. That was from this summer. What a crackpot. She disappeared like a fart in the wind upon
What's bizarre is that there's only a couple of countries that tried this herd immunity. Sweden was one. Sweden tried herd immunity, and only in the last couple of months they've had to go, well, we got it so wrong, we're shutting down, because their debt skyrocketed. The UK tried herd immunity initially because they weren't really aware of what it was. And after 3 weeks, they said, holy fuck, we've gotten it so wrong, and 35,000 people are already dead. Oh crap. And they changed their tone completely. They're still idiots, but they're doing better. In America, with herd immunity, 6 million people would die. 6 million people, and the Trump supporters would still say, well, car accidents kill people too, you know, and that's their mentality. It's like, well, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. God is going to protect me.
You know what?
You just want to punch them so hard in the face that you feel their bones break.
Yes. You know what pisses me off? I have so many people come at me with, the flu does the same thing. The flu has the same. No,
it doesn't.
The flu
Not
is
fucking close.
0.1%. 0.1% is the flu. Okay. If you
0.001% to be exact.
If you take the percentages, just the basic percentages of the people in the United States that have been infected and have, you know, had the coronavirus versus the people that have died. If you run that percentage, I don't know. I think it's probably it's like maybe 1.8% right now. Maybe a little less, maybe a little bit.
As of today it's 2.2%. The death rate of
2.2.
2.2. The death rate of infected people is 2.2 right
So
now.
last week or 2 weeks ago, it was 1.88 that I did it. So if you take those raw numbers, those actual fucking numbers, and you compare 2% to 0.1%, you know what? You can go fuck yourself, because you need to go back to math.
And in real numbers, last year, 46,000 people died from the flu, and you mitigate against the flu. You have vaccines, you know, you protect yourself as much as 46,000 in the entire flu season. So 317,000 in 10 months. Like, it's going to be 400,000 by New Year's Day. So you're comparing apples and oranges. You know what I mean? And it's just so bizarre. And this whole God is going to protect me. Oh, there's, you know, that old fable. It's like, oh, a man is on top of his house after a massive flood.
God gave you a brain for a reason, motherfucker.
But you know that fable? It's like, God, you're standing on top of the house and it's after flooding, and you're like, oh my God, please save me. And along comes a rowboat, and your man says, come on, jump in. And the guy in the house is like, no, I'm fine. God is going to save me. And an hour later, the water is up another little bit, and the guy in the speedboat comes along and says, come on, dude, let's go. And he says, no, God is going to save me. And then a helicopter comes and it says, come on, I'll save you. And he says, no, God is going to save me. And then he drowns and he dies. He goes up to heaven and he's like, God, Jesus Christ, what's the crack? I thought you were going to save me. And he said, save you? I sent you a man in a rowboat. I sent you a speedboat, and I sent you a fucking helicopter. But you're just too stupid to take the help.
Fucking Patty, I love you. That was so on point.
And with that, I'm going to say, guys, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask Patty or Nikki and I, go ahead and ask them now.
As they say, thanks a leche.
Yeah. And as I always do, I'm going to plug our podcast. We've been getting more and more downloads, which is awesome. We love you for that. You can find us on iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, pretty much every podcast platform there is, we're on it. And we're also now, as of today, we're on Twitch. So if you have Twitch or you like Twitch, go follow us on there as well. We're broadcasting there as we speak. So with that, go ahead and ask your questions. I wanted to touch on one thing to close off everything we just talked about. You know, clearly the numbers are bad, and clearly this is a worldwide issue, and other countries have responded better than the United States, and we're seeing that. But now I think we're starting to see the trend that we're going to have to follow here in the United States. And I'm going to speak for Arizona and where I live. And I live in Pima County. And the Board of Supervisors got together, I think it was yesterday, the day before, and I think it was yesterday, and voted for a mandatory curfew in the entire county. And that's going to be from starting at 10 p.m. going until 5 a.m. So the cities and the counties are starting to see how serious this is. They're starting to see that the numbers are getting far worse, and the healthcare workers are coming out and telling us how bad the hospitals are becoming overrun. So here's the line for what they're trying to get us to is until the average weekly number of COVID-19 cases in the county falls below 100 per 100,000 residents, then we're going to stay under a curfew. Right now, the number is currently at 1,300. So we're at 1,300 cases for every 100,000 residents, and they want that to be below 100. That's insane. Then that shows you that we're very far away from that right now.
I'm going to be honest with you. So these curfews don't work. They don't work at all. What people do is they try and get as much socializing in as they can before 10 o'clock, and then they head away home with extra infection. They don't work. It's been tried across France and Germany and the UK, and there's no impact on the numbers per se, in the way that people want them. There really isn't any.
I mean, I don't think there's going to be any drastic. I think for me, the only thing that makes sense from where I'm sitting is to keep people from doing the nightlife, kind of socializing, which is the bars and shit like that. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me. But
the bars in Ireland are still closed. The bars in Ireland that don't serve food are still closed since the 13th of March.
Well, but that's the problem. They're not doing that here, and any type of movement from the government, whether it's city, county, state, they just flip out and they call it like treason and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, I get it. You're a bar, you're a business. Nobody wants to see you fail. This is why I keep saying I think we have failed our business owners, our small businesses, bars. Our government has failed. We have failed you. I'm not
just our government, but the people that support this fucking administration have failed you.
Yep.
Because they're the ones that are pushing for things to go back to normal when it can't go back to normal.
We have to fix it before we can go back to normal.
As administration that is following suit saying, well, this is what our base wants. So they're listening to their base and doing this dumbass shit and making these terrible, terrible decisions for our America. You, the person that wants it to go back to normal when it can't be back to normal yet, you are the problem. You are part of the problem.
It's not that they're listening to their voters. They're listening to their donors. They're not listening to anybody else. That's it. Because again, it's all about money. It's all about profit, and it's all about leverage. It will never be about you people. It will never be. And now we're looking at a new stimulus package that's looking at giving you guys $600 to go until the new government is in place. And $600 is not enough to pay one person's rent, never mind anything else. And you look at the rest of the world giving $2,000 to $3,000 per month to their citizens to help them out. And the answer I always get in my comments is, oh yeah, but how are you going to pay for all that? You're a small country and we're so big.
Patty.
And I'm just like, well, first of all, scale is a wonderful thing. If you have 330 million people, we only have 5. That means we've only got 5 million contributors. You have 330 million contributors.
Tell them again, Patty.
You know what I mean?
Again, Patty.
You know what I mean? If you want to make a cake for 4 people and then need to make a cake for 8 people, you just add the scalable ingredients. That's all you have to do. And all we're doing is getting back the taxes that we paid. That's the bailouts that we're getting, and that's the COVID relief payments that we get. We're getting back what we've already paid. Mm-hmm. That's all we're doing. The problem with you guys is you paid 80% of your taxes for military that you don't fucking need.
Yep. Yeah.
Scale. Jesus. Fuck.
But again, that touches on a far bigger issue. But
It's the second most annoying thing in my comments.
My best friend actually called me today when he was in between jobs, and we actually ended up talking about this very specific thing. And I just think it's insane that for 10 months, the government's overall response has been to provide $1,800 overall to people. In two stimulus checks, $1,800.
And people are saying, oh, people have been getting unemployment this whole time. We're not talking about unemployment benefit. We are talking about COVID relief. The workers in the United States who are furloughed, who can't go to work because of COVID, but also still have their jobs, they need to be helped out. That's the people I'm talking about are not those who are long-term unemployed who get a benefit every single week. We're talking about those who normally work, who normally provide for their families and themselves. They need to be helped because they can't work because it's not safe. They shouldn't be sent to work in order to potentially die in order to feed their families. Yeah. That shouldn't be the case in any country in the world, let alone the country that you all proclaim to be the greatest country in the world, the wealthiest country in the world, and the best country in the world. It's absolutely beyond stupid. And that guy behind you on the wall, Ryan, is turning in his grave. John F. Kennedy is turning in his grave because of what has happened to America since Ronald Reagan took over.
Yep.
So I want to, Happy Phantom, thank you for saying that stimulus is too late anyway. So Patty and I had talked about this. Patty was saying that you have been getting the Irish people have been getting some sort of stimulus or a relief check every week, right? Correct?
Yeah.
The American people have not seen a stimulus check since March. Now, here's the thing about stimulus and relief. Stimulus is to stimulate our economy. Relief is to help the American people. So when you see stimulus in any kind of rhetoric or that you see in the government, that is to stimulate the economy. You need to look for relief. What kind of relief are the American people going to get? That is what goes directly to the American people. And that is what the Democrats have been fighting for now, to put into the stimulus package, because originally the one that's supposed to come out didn't even have any relief for the American people. And that is what the Democrats are like, no, we need the relief for American people. And you know what? I agree with you. It's too little too late on both sides. This shit should have been done on a monthly basis. You think about Trump building this stupid effing wall to keep people out. People don't want to fucking come in anymore, you idiot.
How about churches that don't pay taxes getting $4.4 million in personal loans?
Absolutely.
That were meant for small businesses.
And 1 week later,
businesses want to be pissed off at somebody. How about you get pissed off at some of these extreme churches that took all that fucking money and don't put any money back into the tax system that they just took the loan from?
Completely agree. And that's that same church, after taking 4.4 million in a COVID payments, bought a jet a week later.
Oh no, that was a separate church. That was
another church. Oh, I'm sorry. That's multiple churches. Yeah,
that one was That one was like 2.2 million, and they gave it back after they got called out for buying the thing. Yeah,
that's big business. Has nothing to do with God. You know what? God, if it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You look at the cup that God had. What was God's cup? It was the most like rudimentary cup that you could find. And this isn't it. The whole, like when I see churches, I live in the South now, and when I see churches, they're just so astronomically ridiculous down here and huge and so in your face, like rich. And it's like, this isn't what religion is supposed to be about. And that is literally what turned me against religion. I am a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. And that is why.
Yeah.
They're all about the money. They're all about the Benjamins.
So does anybody have any questions before we?
Somebody asked a question there about what's the biggest risk for the Russian hack. And for me, the biggest risk is not about the nuclear weapons or anything like that. They won't have gotten that deep. It's about personnel and personnel files and personnel information. Oh. So it's about who's being exposed for their location, their families, what rank they have, etc. You know, so that would be for me the biggest worry right now. Yeah. What do you?
Yeah.
So. This question is from Raymond Harris. What do you think about the government telling states they will be receiving 40% less doses of the vaccine when Pfizer has millions of doses, but don't know where to send them?
So this was a Donald Trump mistake again. Trump was offered. He turned them down. He was offered and he turned them down. And then last week he signed an executive order trying to bring that back. But it's not. Yeah, it's not legal. It's stupid. But again, I just want to talk. The Pfizer vaccine was developed in Germany by German-Turkish scientists as part of the European branch of Pfizer. So yes, Pfizer in America produced this vaccine, but it was made in Europe. The only thing that America did was buy some of it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the innovation that Donald Trump was talking about. But I do think that the Pfizer vaccine has been withheld because these extra vaccines are coming to the marketplace for profit. And those vaccines are going to be pushed by this administration in order to make money for their pals. Because again, it always comes down to greed and money.
Well, like Amy said, Amy Finn said the rich are getting richer from this while the middle and the poor are suffering. And then she also followed it up with, and small businesses are suffering.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead. Go ahead, Nikki.
This goes right along the lines of the whole cover-up of the coronavirus, where they were trying, they didn't give a shit about the American public. They haven't given a shit about the American public and what is best for the American public. It's in these documents with, you know, the CDC and, you know, these people lying about, like, just trying to protect Trump's presidency. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. And now everything is coming to fruition. They took a gamble. It was like a snake eyes kind of roll, and they fucking lost, and they lost big. And it was American, you know, citizens' lives they were taking. And here we are, you know.
This is why I want everybody to keep an eye over the next 7 days between now and Christmas Eve, because it's going to be a pardon week in the White House. So for the next 7 days, I believe, because Donald Trump wants to make it all about him, and he's going to present it as, oh, I'm protecting these people from the Democratic witch hunt, and I'm Santa Claus, and I'm giving all of these people the wonderful gift of a happy Christmas. But look at the names of who he's going to pardon. Look at the positions they hold within this administration or organizations, and you'll be able to say categorically, well, a pardon is an admission of guilt as per the Supreme Court. So if you accept the pardon, you're saying, yes, I was partaking in deviant behavior. So therefore, there's a connection, and the conspiracy is not a conspiracy. It's real. The corruption is so vast. It's so vast that it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. And I genuinely believe, if you guys had taken a federal approach at the start with a leader who wasn't Donald Trump, you guys would only be around 100,000 deaths right now, rather than the 317,000 that you are today. Yep. And still to this day, I haven't heard Donald Trump with any effort or any emotion say, I'm so sorry we lost you all. And I'm so sorry to the families, and 300. He will always say one is too many. But you know, it's going to be down to zero soon.
Of sounding sincere,
always goes,
that's why.
But imagine, like, the president hasn't turned around and said, Jesus, we're so sorry, but we're trying. You know,
Patty, it's not within his. It's not within his.
He doesn't
realm.
have that.
He does not. He can't. He cannot. He can't. He is legit sick in the head. Where admitting that and saying it like you just said, which in my opinion would show strength, he thinks it shows weakness. And therefore you will never hear those words ever come out of his mouth, ever. And he literally is the one that failed America, period.
Tones was asking there how many people are going to be pardoned. I think there will be close to 100 pardons. I think, but around about 50 will be preemptive pardons. Now, what a preemptive pardon, for those who don't know, is if you're suspected of being part of anything, you don't even have to be charged. You don't have to be convicted of a crime. If you're just suspected at all, you can be given a preemptive pardon that protects you against all of that. And I reckon there's probably going to, in the region of 100, going to be handed out between now and the new year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I agree. I mean, he is going to pardon his whole family. He's going to preemptively pardon his whole family.
Monica said he's never had to apologize for anything. He's not wired like a normal human. That's not.
He is a sociopath. He's a sociopathic narcissist, which is the worst combination that you could ever. But he's an idiot at the same time. So I guess maybe that's kind of the God's grace right there, is that he's not very smart, but he is great at being a con man and a narcissist.
And the good news is with the average death rate in America is only around 82 at the minute. He's going to be dead soon, so happens.
Is that bad?
I mean, I wish it was a JFK Texas 1963 type scenario. I mean, that's all I'm going to say, because obviously I don't want to get flagged by the intelligence agencies. But I just love John F. Kennedy, and I was sad to see what happened to him in 1963. And I would hate for that to happen to anybody else.
Yeah, it'd be terrible.
You're trying to get our podcast taken down, aren't you?
But here's the thing, Patty.
This is not a wink. This is a twitch.
Italian family were like, you don't say that shit. So I'm like nodding, but I can't say it. I can't say that.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'm just ready for this to be over. I'm ready to move on to the Biden-Harris era. I'm ready to see what they can do on top of fixing this shit show that we have here. But most importantly, I'm just ready to watch the circus pack up and leave.
Mm-hmm. It is such a circus. Oh, and I have,
unless you guys win Georgia, nothing's going to happen. No big reform is going to change.
Georgia
Nothing.
is everything, and that is what we're telling.
You better be wrong.
You guys, if you are in social media, you have to push Georgia. We have to. I just sent out a fucking shit ton of postcards today. We need to start making videos. We have to make sure that people are voting. Early voting started on Monday. It runs until January 1st. Then you can vote in person on January 5th. We need the Democratic vote in Georgia. You guys cannot give up now. Please do not give up now. We need
and make no mistake
forward.
That Mitch McConnell is pushing this $900 billion stimulus package today in the last couple of days because of Georgia. It's for no other reason. Exactly. If Georgia wasn't happening, he wouldn't give a shit about the stimulus for you guys. He wouldn't care less. He wouldn't care about $600, never mind $6, never mind 600. So he's trying to buy votes in Georgia right now. And lots of people will fall for it. And if you don't know who the candidates are in Georgia, just remember this, that Mitch McConnell will lose his position and his power if both seats go blue. And that's the biggest takeaway. Yeah. Mitch McConnell loses his power.
Which is gold for many, many people. You guys want to see Mitch go bye-bye? Then you got to vote. If you live in Georgia, you have to vote. And I know that the Georgians, I'm terrible with like electoral and Georgians, and I can't even say that stuff. I don't know. My husband makes fun of me all the time, but you guys have to get out and you have to vote. You have to have your voice heard again. This is like as if Trump were running and Biden were running again, because as Biden is a president, it's not going to make a damn bit of difference unless we have the Senate, period. Because Mitch McConnell will cock block every single thing that Biden tries to make better. This is huge, just as important.
And with that, you guys got anything else that you want to talk about?
I'm good. I mean, I feel as though I should have said the word cunt a few more times. So
I think if you want to throw a few more in there, we can get them in there.
Cons.
So if my Twitter wasn't banned before, it will be now.
Is it on there? It's not on there.
No. No, like you said, Georgia, Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff in Georgia. It's so important, guys. That's the only way we can take Mitch McConnell's power from him without Kentucky doing the right thing and taking it from him for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And with that, anything else, guys? You want me to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a minute.
So
guys, just want to say thank you guys so much for being on here. Patty, thank you so much for being on here. We absolutely love you. Please stay after we leave the show. But
I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll think about it.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for being on.
And make sure, and I echo that, Patty. It's always fun having you on the show. So if you don't follow him, please go follow Patty on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter. And so the nice NRX hat that Nikki has on is now for sale. We'll be putting that up on all of our the site up on all of our stuff.
Beanies,
what is it? Hats, hoodies, and beanies. What is? Yep. Beanies. So you see how cool it looks. And so go ahead and you can go get those. Subscribe to all of our podcasts, please, the audio version of this, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And
somebody told me to ring the bell.
Scared the shit out of me.
Me too.
I was like, what is that? Well, dinner's done. And with that, I say, as I'll leave you as I always do, with much love and keep fighting.
Love ya.